Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Welcome in. Welcome everybody to 5 Nights of Lives and Vibes. I'm your DJ Lucky, alongside Nurse Alice Benjamin, and a special guest tonight. Now look, I'm not invited to the meetings in the ladies' room, but guess what? I'm bringing in the vibes. Tonight is ladies' night. It's ladies' night, and girl, the feeling's good. Yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. It's ladies' night, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, baby, single baby. Sophisticated mama. Come on with it, so lady. Yeah, stay with me tonight. If you give any noise, if the voice is down. What is the ladies' night? Stepping out ladies' night. What is the ladies' night? Stepping out ladies' night. Welcome in to 5 Nights of Lives and Vibes. I'm your DJ Lucky. Alongside tonight is Nurse Alice Benjamin and a special guest. Now look, I am not invited to the meeting in the ladies' room, y'all. I'm not. But I'm here to bring the vibes for y'all tonight. Tonight is ladies' night, y'all. So come on in, get some good information. We're doing it the right way for ladies' night, y'all. Hey, Nurse Alice, how you doing?
I am doing fine. I'm excited to be here. I think people are coming into the room. Welcome, everybody. Got my favorite DJ Lucky joining us tonight. Right. So, guys, welcome to night 4 of 5 Nights of Lives and Vibes. We are here in celebration of National Minority Health Month. And listen, Lucky, you are invited, okay? So this, even though it says there's a meeting in the ladies' room, we know that there are going to be other people on here. The gentlemen, please come in because we really also want you to understand the ladies as well. But we're really excited. So we want to give everyone the opportunity to participate. So if you don't mind, take that little arrow, share it repost this. We want to get as many people to join the room as possible because listen, we're going to be dropping gems and we're giving away prizes. That's right. Tonight and every night and the last couple nights, we've given away $50 gift cards for our trivia. Okay, so you want to stay and play. Gonna be a couple questions. Each time the points are going to be more and more. And listen, the last question could win it all, but you got to stay, you got to play. Okay, and tonight's giveaway is a $50 Uber Eats gift card or $50 Visa gift card, whichever one you like, right? Like T.I. said, you can have whatever you like. We just want you to participate, get these gems, and hopefully win this prize, okay? So while you are grabbing your friends and family, I want to tell you a little bit more about our family and a little bit more about phase 1 of the Harlem Renaissance Project, and that is the Legacy Wellness Center. The Legacy Wellness Center will include the Samaritan Clinic, along with 5 other medical wellness providers offering essential services. And these services include mental health, medical, dental, physical therapy, pharmacy, and wellness care. And it's focused on servicing the uninsured and the underinsured individuals in the Central and South Albany areas. So make sure to follow Harlem Renaissance Project on Facebook and Instagram. Look, you see it down there. Make sure to follow. Now, listen, before we go any further, again, keep sharing. I want you to share this live to get it out to as much as people as possible because we're dropping gems. There's going to be prizes, a $50 gift card, okay? Now, before we move into our next segment, I got a special guest. Listen, it takes a village. And so the last couple nights, I've had some wonderful guests, and, you know, it gets better and better. And tonight, I want you to help me welcome our special guest. She is a family practice physician who is dedicated to true healing of people and the community. Please welcome to the show, Dr. St. Clair. Dr. St. Clair, where are you at? Hey, my bestie. Right, there you go. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. What an honor. It's so good to see you. I'm loving your energy, your positive vibes. What an honor. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you so much.
Now, we are very lucky to have you. Now, listen, y'all, there's no copay for tonight, okay? So I want you to participate and ask all your questions. Now, I know you're going to have your own healthcare provider, but listen, knowledge is power, and we really want to empower you with information so you can take better care of yourself, make healthier choices so you can live happier lives. And Dr. St. Clair, in order to do this kind of like in a fun way, right? It's a meeting in the ladies' room.
Yes, it is.
But it's always good when we can make it fun, make it exciting, make it engaging. You know how we ladies do, right? We ladies always have a good time. Toss up your glass. Mine is a glass of water, but toss up your glass, right? And so one of the things that we're going to do tonight to make this, the night amazing. It's amazing because you guys are amazing, but we are going to get into some trivia questions. Now, I forgot to also mention, before we jump into those, can you tell the people a little bit about your medical specialty and the work that you do?
Sure. So I am board certified in family medicine. I am a primary care physician with now a transition into incorporating holistic patient care into how I practice. So it's going to be more of not just conventional traditional medicine, but holistic care of every patient. So we are not going to leave any stone unturned. We're here to listen. We're here to pursue and welcome unconventional methods to pursue our healing. Of course, so long as it's legal and ethical, I'm your girl. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about whatever you need us to do. And yes, that's the move I'm on right now, girl. Alice, that's the mission I'm on, is to get people healed from a holistic standpoint so that can be sustained.
I love it. AKA, we're leaving no crumbs behind. Okay. So we're going to have a great conversation. So let's get into this trivia. Again, we are playing for a $50 gift card, Uber Eats or a Visa gift card. Now, again, you got to stay, you got to play. Last question could win it all. Okay. So I'm going to get to this first question. And this one is actually near and dear to me because it's something that I have some personal experience with, but it's also fairly common. Here's the question, y'all. What mineral is particularly important for women to prevent anemia, especially during menstruation or pregnancy? Now, this is worth 5 points. I want you to drop your answer in the chat box. Is it A, magnesium, B, calcium, C, iron, or D, zinc? We're going to give you a couple seconds here to get put the answer in the chat box.
Alice, I'm going to chime in and encourage the ladies because I need somebody to take this gift card tonight. Come on, ladies, drop your answers. I want somebody leaving here with a Visa gift card. Let's go.
Let's go. And I think DJ Luck is going to give us a little something to jam to. Oh, we got Jeopardy. Okay. We can jam to Jeopardy. Oh, there you go. That's more my vibe. Five Nights of Lives and Vibes.
I see.
All right. Is it A, magnesium, B, calcium, C, iron, or D, zinc? Drop your answer in the chat box to win this $50 Visa gift card. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring this one to a close. Now, Dr. St. Clair, if you could please remind the ladies in the room and some gents, if they're in here as well, what is the correct answer to this question?
That would have to be C for iron. Absolutely. Absolutely. Iron it is.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to ask a quick follow-up question. I know it's iron. How do we get iron in? Do I need to take a supplement, or what are some natural ways, some holistic ways to get iron into my diet?
So green leafy vegetables is an amazing source of iron. So grab your turnips, your spinach, your kale, and if you can also incorporate like berries. The berry group of fruits are amazing in iron sources, in addition to being antioxidants, because the antioxidant properties of berries actually help the movement of iron. So that's an easy, nice way. If you can do a green smoothie every day, if you can, that would be perfect. But that's a great way to get your iron in naturally.
Okay, I love it. Listen, I'm loving all these answers in chat box. Everybody's a student in here. I love it. I love it. Ooh, this is going to be a hard one. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our next question. So this one too is worth 5 points, ladies and gents. Okay. And this is one that we see a lot of information that's out there, all these fad diets, right? What's the healthiest thing to do? But listen, we got the answers for you. But let's ask the question. What holistic dietary approach is often recommended to balance hormones naturally in women? Is it A, a keto diet? Is it B, Mediterranean diet? Is it C, a DASH diet? Or is it D, a raw food diet? Now, while DJ Luck is giving us some tunes there, we're going to go again. What is the correct answer, ladies and gents? Is it A, keto diet? B, Mediterranean diet? C, DASH diet? Or D, raw food diet? Give you all a couple seconds to put your answers in the chat box.
Ooh, the ladies are not playing games tonight, Alice.
Oh, no, look at that.
Our girls are on it. People want this gift card.
$50 gift card. Listen, the way these tariffs are going, the way these student loans are about to kick in, y'all, we got to get this $50 gift card, okay? I need it.
Gonna be a close one.
It is going to be close. We are here for that real love. The meeting in the ladies' room. All right.
Always love in the ladies' room.
It is always love in the ladies' room. Now, Dr. St. Clair, this was a little tricky because we hear a lot of information that's out there, depending on what you're looking at, what you're reading, right? Yeah. So what is the correct answer? What is the best holistic dietary approach for women naturally?
That's the Mediterranean diet.
Boom. Yeah. Okay. Tell us more about the Mediterranean diet and why that one and not the others.
We're back.
Okay, yes. So tell us why the Mediterranean diet is preferred versus the other ones that were options for us.
So first, the Mediterranean diet, for those who don't know, it's a predominantly plant-based diet with healthy oils like your avocado oil bases, olive oil. It also has whole grain foods, nuts, fruits and vegetables, lean proteins. So as you hear me mentioning what encompasses a Mediterranean diet, we're hearing a lot of back to the basics. So we're going back to the naturals, very little processing, if any, a lot from a raw state or very minimal processing goes into it. And it supports supports every aspect of the hormonal stuff. So things like hormonal balance in terms of the numbers going up or down, the regulation. It goes and works on a cellular level. The fats are important in building up the amino acids, building blocks to be able to be part of the protein structure of the hormone. So the Mediterranean diet covers a lot of the fuel sources of what's needed to regulate and balance hormones in general. So that's a good one to go with.
That is a good one to go with. And, you know,
Mhm.
and we see all these other things about these other diets. Are there any diets on here we should stay away from?
No, and I'll quickly just run down through them. Like the keto diet is a high protein, high fat type of diet. It's really good, especially when your main focus is really to drop some significant weight and then work on maintenance. It's not an easy one to maintain just because it's highly restrictive, especially if you're not doing dirty keto, because that's a thing now, Alice, dirty keto. I'm talking about the real keto. But it's a good one when something needs to happen, you need to drop weight. Then the DASH diet is a really good one for people who have heart conditions or people who have high blood pressure because it's a low sodium diet. So it doesn't really address a lot of the other food groups, but the sodium is really limited, and that's good for such patients. And then the last one is a raw food. That's a great one. It's not a sustainable one for a lifestyle for a lot of people, but this is where you get on when you want to do a cleanse, when you want to detox your body, you want to detox your liver. You get on some raw fruits, raw veggies, raw fruit juice for like a week or so. Your body's going to do a whole metabolic reset. So yeah, there's a place for each one.
Okay, wonderful. And when you say raw, we're talking about fruits and vegetables. We're not talking about like sushi or any other type of raw poultry or anything like. Just sometimes you guys say it. Just I'm
so
for
glad
the person in the back who wanted to know, because somebody wanted to know. They're asking for a friend. I just wanted to clarify that one.
Absolutely, it's raw fruits and vegetables in their natural state.
Okay, wonderful. Ooh, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Lots of gems tonight. Again, you're playing for a $50 gift card, ladies and gents here. Okay, now here's another question. You know what? This is a little bit of a tricky one. It's for 10 points. Okay, so this is a comeback question. Okay, so if you didn't get the first two, the comeback question here, 10 points. How often is a Pap smear recommended for most women aged 21 through 65, assuming the results are normal? Is it A, every year? Is it B, every 2 years? Is it C, every 3 years? Or is it D, every 5 years? Go ahead and drop your comments, your answers in the chat box. We're playing for it's 10 points. Is it A, every year? B, every 2 years? C, every 3 years? Or D, every 5 years? We're going to give you a couple seconds and a couple vibes as you guys are putting your answers in the chat box. Hey, I like a little MJ. Oh, did we lose DJ Lucky?
DJ Lucky seems to have exited the ladies' room. He's exited the ladies' room.
He's exited the ladies' room, huh? Well, there we go. A little bop there. Okay. Give y'all a couple more seconds, 5 more seconds to answer this question. Answers in the chat box, please. We're playing for a $50 gift card. And listen, you're winning with this information. So even if you don't walk away with the gift card, you're still a winner. We're all winners. All right. We wrap this one up. Dr. St. Clair.
It's a close one. I'm looking at the ladies going all out, going all in.
They are. So Dr. St. Clair, please let us know, what is the correct answer for this question?
This one is a hot topic, but we'll tell what the correct answer is, and the recommended one is every 3 years.
Okay.
That's what the guidelines say.
So it's not every year? I thought I was supposed to go every year.
Yeah. So about that. So the guidelines changed. So you're not crazy. You didn't just lose your cool somewhere. It was every year years ago, but there's been a lot of changes to the guidelines with PAPS, and now it's every 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that information. That's helpful to know. And listen, our next question that we're going to go into, and I think we have a special guest who's going to be joining us as well. Okay, DJ Lucky is back, and we also have another special guest who's going to be joining us soon. But let me go ahead and go into the question as she gets ready to join us. As a follow-up to this, and listen, this is the winner question. This is the bring it home question. 20 points. 20 points, y'all. So if you didn't get the first ones, get this one right and you potentially could win. What important health screening is often recommended alongside the pap smear for women over the age of 30? It's worth 20 questions. Is the answer A, an HPV test? Is it B, a mammogram? Is it C, a pelvic ultrasound? Or D, blood pressure screening? Okay, guys, 20 points. This one can win it all. What important health screening is often recommended alongside a pap smear for women over the age of 30? Is it A, HPV test? Is it B, a mammogram? Or is it C, a pelvic ultrasound? Or D, blood pressure screening? Let's go ahead and we'll give you a couple seconds there. Can we get some vibes maybe as you're answering that one? There we go. Y'all like, got 10 seconds. Oh, look at the answers coming in. Look at them coming in.
I'm telling you, it's hot in here, girl.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and roll into the answer for this one. This was the one that was going to take it home. This is the take home question, 20 points. So the correct, and this is a follow-up kind of to the one we just asked, right? About pap smears. So what is the correct answer for this? What test do I take alongside my pap smear, Dr. St. Clair?
That's the HPV.
Oh, HPV.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
We had some good answers in the chat box, but the correct answer is HPV. Not that the other ones are unimportant. Those are still important, right? And you may actually still get those ordered at that same visit, but it is the HPV test. Can you explain to us why? Why we use that test?
So the HPV is the human papilloma virus, and actually it's a code test with the pap. And in women, it's very notorious to causing abnormal pap smears, like abnormal cervical cells. And so over years, it's become part of the test. Like the pap is checking for cervical cancer, of course, but then they're screening for HPV because early detection could get you to start doing things differently. And then that'll lead to the cervical abnormalities not getting worse. But I do want to say to all the ladies, I saw a lot of people saying mammograms, which was amazing. It is a good health screening, but the key word was the age group. So the mammograms don't start at 30. So that was kind of a tricky one, but absolutely mammograms are just as important. But for the pap, it's the HPV because it causes, if it's unaddressed and left long-term, it can cause abnormality in cervical cells, which in turn could lead to cervical cancer. So that's why it's that important.
It is very important. And you know what? I'm glad that you said that because in general, most mammograms start at the age 40. And our special guest, Crystal King, has joined us today. She is a breast cancer survivor. She survived 2 encounters with breast cancer, and she's here to actually share about her journey and her experience. And then from there, we're going to actually open up into the dialogue and let Dr. St. Clair kind of also join the conversation so we can learn a lot from Crystal. So Crystal, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm excited to be here. Health is a subject that I'm particularly passionate about for a lot of reasons. As you mentioned, I've, had an encounter with breast cancer. I was originally diagnosed at age 25. And so, that was not on my bingo card. I was not expecting that, when it happened. And so I'm always encouraging young women to pay attention. The other thing that I will say is that breast and ovarian are connected. So my original diagnosis at age 25 was with breast cancer. And then in 2018, I had an ovarian cancer diagnosis. And so that was pretty rough. Some conflicting pathology there. And so I don't really claim that second one, but it did happen. And I did have the surgery that went along with it. But a lot of times I will say that women just aren't paying attention because we think it can't happen to us. But there's some things that you can do in order to build a support network around you to help you pay attention and to help you catch things, even when you may not be paying attention. And the number one thing that I will say is, ladies, please, and gentlemen too, if you're listening, make sure you find a healthcare team, a support team that will listen to you. I love my doctors. My doctors, I laugh all the time because I say, their names are Keisha, Chandra, Terry. They listen to me. They believe me. When we look at the maternal health crisis in this country, and especially Black women dying at such high rates from the maternal mortality crisis, it's because oftentimes doctors don't believe them. You go in, you say something is happening, and if you don't have the right care team, they treat it as if it's in your head. And it's not in your head. Believe your body, speak up, advocate for yourself, and make sure you have a care team that will advocate for you and listen as well. I remember, when I was first diagnosed, this was my first time seeing my doctor. I was a brand new patient to her. And I was like, I don't have time to go through this. You want to do an entire exam. I came because I had heartburn, which of course had nothing to do with my cancer diagnosis. But the point was, Chandra Brown looked at me, and she's my friend to this day, 20 plus years later. And she's like, well, you know what? If you don't have time to do a full physical, we won't be doing anything. You'll need to reschedule when you do have time. So she took me to task on that. And so we got to know each other as we're sitting there talking. And so she's doing the exam, and she said, wait a minute, she starts, asking me about my family history and keeping me calm, just talking through it. I didn't even realize anything was happening at the time. And I said, yeah, well, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 years ago. Well, she was 50. So I thought, I'm in the clear. Surely there's nothing wrong with me. Well, as we continued to talk through it, my grandmother died of ovarian cancer. Oh, the bells are going off in her head. And then since that time, my aunt passed away. My grandfather's sister passed away of breast cancer. And so there's this whole, lineage of cancer in my family. But a lot of times, a lot of women don't even know that. We're not having the right conversations. So the net of what I'm sharing tonight is, one, pay attention no matter what age you are. There's no such thing as too young. I've had friends and acquaintances as young as, 18 who have been diagnosed. I will say, so that's one, pay attention no matter your age. 2, make sure that you know your family's health history. So many things in our community, guys, are taboo. We just don't talk about it, but you have to talk about it. Ask the questions. And for those in the family who are a bit older, please don't keep it to yourselves, share it. So that's number 2. And then 3 is, of course, to make sure that you seek out doctors who care about you genuinely and who will pay attention to the things that you bring to the table.
So well said. Thank you so much for sharing that, Crystal. Lots of things there. Dr. St. Clair, I know you weren't a part of Crystal's healthcare team, but as a family practice provider, what are some other things that you can add or elaborate on given Crystal's story? Because she was younger than the 40s. She was,
Right.
All of these things. And I'm so glad you stayed for that appointment, because some of us would have been like, I don't have time. And listen, for all of you who are listening, here in the ladies' room, we need to make time. We can make time to get our nails done. And how long is that? That's about an hour. How long does it take our lashes to get done? How long does it take our hair to get done? You surely have time for an annual wellness visit and screening. You do.
Indeed. And Dr. St. Clair, I would just ask you, how could a holistic, listen,
Right.
People weren't talking about holistic healing as much during that time. What role could holistic, healing have played in my journey? What are some things we need to know?
Okay, that's a great question, Crystal. First of all, I'm so excited for you.
Woo!
I'm celebrating your win and your recovery. That's just such a blessing. And before I touch on that, I do want to make a comment on your amazing story, because like you rightfully pointed out, you are way out of the screening age group. Secondly, you are not even going in there because of any abnormalities you had noted. And that brings me to what I want to actually shed light on, is the importance of self-breast exams. This is part of patient advocacy. I always tell my female patients, you have breasts, you are approaching, you're getting up there in age, really and truly. As you're approaching your PAPS, you should be starting to know how to do your breast exams. This is something we're not talking about, especially in our race. This is not something we are teaching our young ladies, our daughters, and our nieces to do. But majority are always found by breast exam. And you are living proof of that. It wasn't a self breast exam, but it was your physician doing a breast exam. Either way, that's how it was found. And if she didn't do that at age 25 and waited for the classic 40, who knows what could have happened. So I just want to highlight the importance of women knowing how to do self breast exams. And it's never too early to learn your body and to learn how to do those exams. And so back to your second question, the holistic health, I guess, modality, how I describe it, it's a principle in itself. It's being able to talk to your patients and listen to your patients. Prevention is always better than cure. So there's a lot we've come out of in healthcare these days. We're always about the newest drug, the quickest fix. And that's not how it should be. From a holistic standpoint, it's an entire being. You're looking at the person's life from a physical aspect, a spiritual aspect, mental, emotional. How is their living situation? You know, patients sometimes kind of look crazy at somebody and they're like, you care? Yeah, I do care. I want to know about your living situation. Who do you live with? Because it does matter. How is your work environment? And you can do it just in passing. And so to your point, there could have been a couple of things that could have been put in place to help you with your diagnosis. So your situation is unique in the sense that there was nothing much other than the preventative stuff, like eating healthy and just taking good care of yourself, which I bet you helped you to recover the treatments. Because a lot of people go into treatments, but their bodies are not well to handle the treatments. So this is why we need to have these prevention topics, not specific to prevent diseases, but to arm up your body, to fortify your body so that in event a diagnosis like this just slides on in, and now you're being told you need chemo, you need radiation, you need surgery. A lot of people have post-op issues and fatalities because their bodies, it's not the treatment wasn't working, their bodies couldn't handle the treatment. So that should have been handled from day one. And we need to start, looking at our bodies, what they are, temples of the Lord anyway, and start making sure we are ready for when that day comes, because that day always comes. We're not living in this world to just go through. Your health will be attacked at some point. The question is, are you ready immunologically, physiologically? Are you ready to battle naturally what that issue is going to bring to you? And then secondly, there'll be things that would be put in place. So with a holistic approach, we would make sure you have your team in place. How are you going to deal with this diagnosis emotionally? How are we going to deal with this from a spiritual perspective? Do you have people praying for you, praying with you? Do you have a church family that can lift you up? If you're going to be down for surgery, do you have a community that is able to come in, bring you food, cook for you, help you with your kids? All this matters. It's not just here's your diagnosis and let's go. It's what are we going to do to get better from the diagnosis, and what support do you have? And that's what holistic approach is all about.
Okay, so you can make me just jump out of my chair over here, like literally jump out of my chair over here. Yes to everything you said. I think about, how hard going through chemotherapy was, and not because of the things that people think, right? When people think about chemotherapy, they think about, oh, you lose your hair. Yeah, you absolutely lose your hair, but that's not, that's not the it. It's physically very hard on the body. And I don't know what I would have done without my community. So when you talk about that, that's amazing. I think about, my community, with my original diagnosis. I think about my community in 2018. I don't know what I would have done without them. I was in the hospital for what felt like forever. And mentally, I was spiraling because I had looked forward, my son's entire life. He's my only child. I was looking forward to taking him, to school after college. I was literally still in the hospital 2 days before he was supposed to leave. And I had been in there a month at that point. And I remember crying and asking my best friend to bring my makeup. This is a true story. Bring my makeup back to the hospital because I need to put on some makeup and look like a person so that when my doctor comes in here, I can convince them that I'm okay and I am well enough to go home so that I can see him off to college. But there's another message in that, guys. I should have stayed my behind behind right there in that hospital because I convinced my doctor to let me go home because I was so whatever and just spiraling. Y'all, I went home and I fell out in the garage literally the next day. So when you talk about getting your body to a place where it can withstand the things that you're going to have to go through, that's real.
Yeah.
You're dropping gems.
Yes,
That's a gem right there, Crystal. That's a gem right there.
And there's some people in the comments here that are actually agreeing. There's someone from Facebook. Elaine said, I was passing out from the chemo my oncologist had, and she had to stop at round 3.
Wow.
So
it's real.
It's definitely real.
It's real.
Wow.
It's
so,
real.
I mean,
it's more than just, hey, let's be healthy and lose weight and get off these diabetic medications. My whole thing is not just now, you got to look at the future. And so when these trials come in the form of diseases and diagnosis, I mean, you are going to get healed, but a lot of people are actually not living their full recovery because their bodies were not trained and equipped to handle what comes with the diagnosis and the treatment and thereafter. And that's why I'm just really pushing this holistic thing. We gotta learn to get our bodies ready to be equipped to handle whatever would come our way. You know, if something happened today, God forbid, and like all their stores were shut. You saw what happened during COVID. Everything was shut down. Everybody was losing their mind. Not because COVID was around. At some point that became back burner. It was more of we're running out of water. We're running out of food. That was the first time some people fasted.
Yes.
That was the first time some people went without 2 meals in the day, and they were completely confused. But if your body is trained to be resilient, God has given us such amazing, unique bodies that are trained and equipped with what we need to help you in times of adversity. But we have to help our bodies. You can't just go run a marathon without any training. So people were learning about fasting during COVID. They're like, man, I miss breakfast. I miss lunch. I don't even know about dinner. Technically, you can go 24 hours without food and you're not going to drop dead so long as you're hydrated. But it's little stuff like that. You don't want to experience that in a moment of high stress. So that's not the time.
If I can ask this question then, so how do we, for the people who are listening, because we're getting some comments and questions here in the chat box, how do we change our mindset to adopt those things? Because we're busy, we're professional women, we're trying to climb the career ladder, we're raising children, we're taking care of our parents. You know, there's so many, you know, some of us are pet parents, right? There's so many things that keep us so busy and historically women, we have put ourselves last on the list because we're so busy taking care of someone else. What are some things that what are some simple things that people can do that as a start to change into a more holistic lifestyle?
So I think a good way to do it is addressing the different pillars of wellness. I think we've had this conversation a couple of times in some communities, and I would love to run that down if that's okay.
Go ahead. I got my pen and paper. Let's go.
You ready? You ready, Alice? Crystal, you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Right. So these are the 8 pillars of wellness. And I'm just going to run through them and then just kind of highlight some things on how we can do this. So the first one is physical. We have physical, we have emotional, we have spiritual, we have financial, we have occupational, intellectual.
Hold on.
Okay. Just stop me because girl, I can go on and on and on.
Okay, go ahead.
Occupational, intellectual, social, and environmental. So
hold on, this one. Won't you? Hold on. For the people, I know I'm not the only one. Let's not act like I'm the slowest.
You are not alone. I don't even have a pencil.
It's okay.
Physical, wellness,
physical, emotional, spiritual, financial.
The money. Got to get the money right.
The money got to be there. So it's a wellness pillar.
Yes, wellness pillar. Okay.
Occupational. Intellectual, social, and environmental.
Okay.
Right. So my approach has been transitioned into making sure as a person, all these pillars are being addressed. So I encourage women to start doing an introspective check-in. A lot of times we are busy, go. But if you
Yep.
did an introspective check-in on these pillars, you would quickly, right off the bat, figure out what needs your attention.
Yes.
You can do this in your shower. You can do this when you're feeding your child, you're breastfeeding, you're driving, doing the school run. This is a mental thing. Get it on a sticky note, plug it on your car, and go down the pillars. So physical, do you exercise? How is your diet? Emotional, have you dealt with the grief? Are you dealing with any childhood trauma that nobody's talking about? Does anyone has anyone gotten you through the molestation that only you know about, the rapes, the unbelievable abuse you went through, even in marriages? Are you done grieving the divorce that you went through or the separation? How about spiritual? When was the last time you went to church? You who is a believer, faith is your cornerstone. Do you go to Bible study? Do you pray? Do you start your day with the Lord? Do you read your Bible? Do you fast?
Right.
All this is part of spiritual. How about financial? When was the last time you looked at your budget? You do not need a CPA to do this budgeting part. You can look at your income coming, income out. Is it making sense? Is it zero? Is it a deficient? And what can we do? What about occupational? Are you fulfilled in your job? Is it time for you to find a new career? A side hustle that actually blends your purpose to what you're actually doing to make money. Because if you work in a place you don't like, you are not well in the occupational pillar. How about intellectual? When is the last time you read a book to keep up with your mind? No, I'm not talking about Meals and Boons. And outside the Bible, I'm talking about another kind of book. Have you learned something new about mindset, shifting your mindset, how to parent differently? Have you learned a new skill? Maybe take up crochet, maybe cooking. It's not your gift, but you can learn a new skill. This keeps your mind sharp. How about social? How about those toxic people? The relationships you should have said bye. The doors you need to shut, the venues, the invitations you keep saying to, and you come back drained, come back crying, come back confused. Where are your boundaries? Are you a yes person, a people pleaser? All that is social. It's draining you. How about environmental? Where are you living? How is your environment? You don't have to be in a mansion. Your home should be your peace. Ladies, I'm about to run out of here.
Yes.
Be your peace. You should be driving to your destination where you reside and say, it doesn't matter how it looks physically per se, but it has to be comfortable, clean, not smelling like you're in the middle of New York somewhere, you know. A little fragrance, a little lavender, you know, some cleanness, some bleach.
That is good, relaxing, you to sleep.
All
bleach is my favorite fragrance.
It does, even if it is, you know what I mean? But your place has to be comfortable. It has to be a healthy environment. It has to be clean. So when you do this, I did that checklist like in 5 minutes, 4 minutes. So you're driving and you're looking at it and you're like, girl, I'm really bad with my finances. You got to step it up. I haven't read a book in 10 years. I got to pick up a book somewhere. All this, you need to be doing something in all these pillars for you to say you're living holistically.
I think we need a whole separate day for each of these pillars. Stay tuned. Coming to you very soon. So, you know, the ladies have been very engaged here. And there's actually lots of questions here that are jumping in here. But everybody's taking notes, Dr. Sinclair.
Let's go, ladies.
Those questions.
Let me add this. You know, here's the tricky thing. Everybody, I'm just going to ask you to hang in there because people are joining from all different platforms. So you can't see the questions that my followers are dropping in, who can't see the questions from Nurse Alice's followers or Dr. Somali's followers. They're all coming in different ways. So I think we're going to have to just talk to each other to be able to communicate around that. So, Okay,
well, let me ask this first. So here's the first question. This is from Elise Marin. Some ladies have dense fibrous tissue. Do you have advice on how to identify a lump and where you should get checked out? And actually, if I may, because that's very similar to another question that someone else asked. Someone else asked, where do young women learn how to do breast self-exams? So those are kind of in the same ballpark.
That's an amazing question. So let's start with where young ladies should, I guess, be taught. So obviously in an ideal situation, it should be at the doctor's office because you're not technically seeing OBGYNs until like you're in reproductive stage. Maybe you're having a baby. However, if your provider is a family medicine physician, they are also trained in women's health, and you can ask. Now, I'm family medicine trained, so that went without saying. And because I do things the way I try to do things by learning experiences, I always offer that to patients. And my thing is, as soon as they start coming in for pap smears, that's when I start telling them, do you know how to do your breast exams? Can I show you? Now, right now in the world we live in, we got to have accountability, ladies. We got to. So this is where a mother can show a daughter. Ain't nothing wrong with that. This is where a grandmother can show a grandchild. And so if you know how to do it, or you ask your physician how to do it, you are more than welcome. And we tell them about periods, we talk to them about sex. So why can't we show them how to do self breast exams? I think it's a very intimate thing, and just to get them comfortable. Now, to the next question, which ties into this, fibrous tissue. So the whole idea, after you always know how to do your breast exams, and I would recommend the very first time, even if your mom shows you just so you can have a little idea, always take them back to the physician to do a thorough breast exam at least once a year. And I would say this, the whole idea is for you to know what is normal for you. The second you find something that is off, it doesn't even have to be necessarily a lump, but you're like, okay, it's always been dense on this side, but I'm feeling something more solid. Immediately bring that to your provider's attention. Because fibrous tissue feels very dense, but you would feel a lump through fibrous tissue. But your provider has to be the one to be able to discern. And then usually they do imaging studies, usually like an ultrasound for the younger age group, but bring that to their attention. So a lot of patients will ask me, well, how do I know how a lump would feel? And I tell them, I don't want you to pay attention to the lump per se. I want you to pay attention to what is not normal for you. If every month you feel things a certain way and oops, suddenly something has shifted, something is painful, we gotta say more than just the lump. I've had patients who have had no lumps, but they had tenderness and it was cancer. Or they had no abnormality, but they had nipple discharge. That was cancer.
It's cancer.
Yes.
So
I just want to mention that. Oh, go ahead, Doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say there's some people in the comments. Maybe these are probably from my audience, but someone said that their partner actually helped them find their lump. Now, so if we can have a grown conversation, right? Often, so you can do your self breast exam, obviously, but obviously, if you're in an intimate situation, it might be your partner who discovers the difference or the change in your breast. So maybe this is also, listen, we probably have some men in here, and that's good. That's good because we want this to be a conversation that everyone can benefit from. But
absolutely,
you know, if you're in a situation like that, let's say you're engaging that activity, know what your partner's normal is, and don't be afraid to say something like, "Well, I think I felt something different." No, say it. Say that and bring it to their attention, especially if the partner may be putting their assessing the breasts more than probably the individual is. Just gotta keep it real.
So keeping it real, girl.
Yes,
for real. I'm going to take us down a different path. I have a question over here about heart disease. Ooh. And so, and I feel so bad because I'm like, we have all this great conversation going. So I do want to also say and take a little pause break here for a second to say, we're really excited to be doing this in honor of National Minority Health Month. And this conversation is being brought to us by the Albany Harlem Renaissance Project. And we are excited to see the great things that are happening on the ground in Albany and the facility that is being built, the Harlem Legacy Wellness Center, and what it's going to mean for addressing health disparities in the community. So that's why we're doing this tonight. That's why we're having this conversation. And it's a beautiful thing because, you know, a lot of people talk about the issues. It's another to put boots on the ground, no pun intended, with the popular song that's out right now, right? But it's another thing to put boots on the ground and put, you know, faith without works is dead. But what they have done is amazing. And that's why we're doing this tonight. So I wanted to give that to people who may be just joining and trying to make the connection between all of this. But what I'll say about heart health is Heart disease is the number one killer, ladies.
Absolutely.
It's the number one killer. And so although I am passionate about cancer, and this does not lessen it, because we don't separate the pieces of our body. We have to be concerned about our wholeness, just as Dr. Somali has talked about. We have to be concerned about ourselves as whole beings. And the two things are connected. I have to see a cardiologist. Why? Because of the drugs in my chemotherapy cocktail and the damage that they did to my heart. So when I feel a little flutter in my heart, I get nervous, right? And I have good reason to be nervous.
Right.
So ladies, pay attention. So let's pivot a little bit and talk about, heart health. So I love, Dr. Somali, that you gave us, I believe it was those 8 pillars. Well, there's also what on the heart side, and it's really more about the whole body, is called Life's Essential 8, which focuses on managing. Now watch me drop one of these. I'm going to try not, but y'all hold me accountable.
Okay.
So weight management,
Yep.
Cholesterol, sugar, blood pressure, smoking cessation, diet, exercise, and sleep.
Yep.
Sleep, y'all.
Sleep is so underappreciated. It is.
Yep. Right? If you cannot sleep or you're waking yourself up snoring, and that does happen, you need to make sure that you're talking about it, because that affects everything. It affects your heart health, going back to the conversation about cancer, it affects everything. So I'm going to stop there because I want to hear from the health professionals. Talk to us about our heart health.
Well,
stress.
Yes. Well, I was going to say that was actually our day one event, and when we kicked off this week. So if you have not, if you want to go and binge watch some stuff, just like this is on Netflix, please make sure to go back and watch the previous episodes of this. Because literally on day one, we were talking about high blood pressure, heart disease, and all of those things. So heart disease isn't going anywhere. Like we all have mentioned, heart disease is the leading cause of death. And so, and I'm biased because I started off as a cardiac nurse. So I'm very biased. I have my personal story about my dad who died of sudden cardiac arrest, but that was from heart disease that started due to environmental reasons. He was in the military, and at the time they said, smoke them if you got them. And that's how he was able to take a break. He wasn't necessarily someone who smoked cigarettes, but because that was the only way he'd get a break, that was his environment, that's how he was influenced, he picked up that habit, and that then ensued and caused other things. But there's, there's so many things. And listen, I know it's easy to say exercise, diet, and watch these things, but we can talk about it, but it's really important that we actually take action.
That's right.
Action. And you could just start by making the appointment and getting screened, knowing your numbers. And this is one thing I'll say. If I see a new patient, and mostly I work in the emergency room, but I do some family medicine, but patients will come in and I'll ask them, well, how has your blood pressure been? Oh, it's been good. Oh, okay. Well, what's good? What's it? Well, I don't know. The doctor or the nurse told me it was fine. And people don't know that information. And so good is relative to. So if you ask me in the emergency room, we're accustomed to seeing very high, very, very high numbers, like someone whose systolic number is like 180 over 100. And so if someone comes in and their blood pressure is, it's 145 over 90. Oh, not too bad. Like nothing that I'm worried about in the moment, nothing that's causing an immediate emergency, but still that is something that you need to act on. So it's very important that you know your numbers and that you track and train them. I actually recommend, whatever favorite app you like to use, or even if it's a notebook because you like to write things down, I always recommend that people bring that and bring in someone with them to their so they can capture the information and track and trend the information, because it's a lot of information coming at you left and right. We're healthcare professionals, so we know the lingo, right? When sometimes we talk really fast, we'll use acronyms, but it's okay to stop us and say, you know what, I don't know what a systolic blood pressure is or SBP. I don't know what this is, because our job to keep, inform you, to take, to assess and to inform you of what's going on and inform you what your treatment options are and help identify a treatment plan to get you to where you want to be. Right? It's not necessarily what we want for you, although we want good things for you. We're partners in this. So it's important for you to be as informed and to also take action.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Alice, because that's a huge deal. Patient accountability, it goes hand in hand with patient advocacy. And it's a responsibility. It's twofold on the patient and the providers. So one of the things, and I'll speak on it from both sides, because as we're talking about this is important. You
Yes.
know, a diabetic will come and see me and I'll be like, hey, this is your A1C. And they're like, what is that? But you've been diabetic for 7 years and you don't know your A1C. So this goes back to the whole holistic approach. Your patients have to be educated. And there's a way that you can explain things based on their learning level. You know, there's where you can break things down. I mean, I'll have patients memorize stuff, or if all they can tell me, some of them will tell me, what's my 1C? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Even if you didn't get it in perfection. But that's always a big deal for me, because if you don't empower patients to understand, they cannot be empowered to change. So when you tell me my diabetes is out of control, and all I know is my A1C is being checked, but I'm not explaining what you're doing wrong, then they're not going to have the mindset or the motivation to change. Right. But to Crystal's point, then you got to have a provider you can talk to.
That's right. Keisha, Chandra, and Terry, I told y'all. I'm not kidding.
It's like you said, Alice, it has to be a partnership. Like you can't be afraid. You know, patients come in, some of them will come with a notebook and won't open the notebook at all. And, and I hate that for our patients, because I pray one day that culture will break, because for a holistic approach, you're going to have to be approachable yourself. And so patients will say, I got to write down my stuff. I encourage my patients, girl, you better come with your book next time.
That's
You know, we don't have all day. So, and come with prioritize. You better tell me what's hit the most important. But because I don't want patients to always fall to Dr. Google.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, Dr. Google is the worst. Please, y'all, if you do nothing else, divorce Dr. Google.
and if you have to use Dr. Google, I want to tell you what to Google. Come on, somebody. I want to tell you, go ahead and look it up like this. These are the letters. This is the spelling. And these are the words. We got to help our patients to be empowered if we want people to live healthier. There's no other way around that. So I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, the trusted source to Dr. Somali, the trusted source. So you can't Google and just go to any source. You have to make sure. So I recommend American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, WebMD, the Mayo Clinic. Make sure that you're getting your information from good sources, not junk science. So
absolutely.
Right. We have to
but Crystal, let's drop those one more again. You think you could do it one more time for the people? So guys and ladies and gents, these are the metrics you want to know and monitor for. Okay, so go ahead.
Right. So first off, now this is something you can use Google for. Google Life's Essential 8. Okay, Life's Essential 8. Now I'm gonna see if I can do it, since Nurse Alice. You
had it the first time.
Okay, let's see. So weight. Okay. Exercise. Diet. Blood pressure. Blood sugar. Cholesterol. Smoking cessation. And sleep.
Boom, she got it. Mic drop.
Right? I got it.
So those are very important metrics that you guys should be monitoring for. Again, you want to keep track of what's normal for you, because this has happened to me, and I actually have the situation sometimes of having low blood pressure. So someone will say, my blood pressure is like systolic, is like the top number is like 100. I live in that area. So when my blood pressure was like 138 over something, I was like, oh, that's high for me. They're like, no, it's normal. It's fine. It wasn't normal for me.
That's right.
I get what the textbook normal is, but it's not normal for me. So, and sometimes, and this is another reason why it's also helpful to bring someone with you, someone to also help you advocate. Because if you're not feeling well, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, it might be too much for you. And so you have someone there to support you and to also help you collect that information to make sure you heard it right. Because there are times I'll have couples come in, and then the one person will say, well, this, and that. And here goes, well, no, it wasn't. What the doctor said was,
Right.
So it's good to have someone with you at all times.
Oh, that's so
Oh my
y'all,
God.
this is so good.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I forgot. You guys, we actually have a winner. Hold on. We did the trivia. We forgot to drop the winner.
Oh, wait. Because once you do the trivia, people might drop off. So
Okay,
let's
hold on.
go
One more
ahead
question,
and
one more
say,
question, I think,
so
right?
y'all, in honor of National Minority Health Month, we are doing these conversations all week long. 5 nights of lives and vibes.
Yes.
And so that's all week long. We want you to come back tomorrow night and be a part of the conversation as well, where we will have a health panel. I say we, I say we. It's really
Like,
Nurse
I'm in it.
Alice,
I'm here.
Producer Lyman, and Raven and all those guys. But anyway, there will be another panel. But y'all, last night was really good because it was about mental health. So tomorrow, what you'll get is a summation of the week where you'll be able to. The theme is asking for a friend. So it's answering all of your frequently asked medical questions or the questions that you've been afraid to ask. Drop those bad boys in the chat, and our medical professionals are going to answer those for you. So please be sure to come back tomorrow. And there will be another gift card out there tomorrow too. So now you can look.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But you did mention last week. So day 1 was high blood pressure.
Yes.
Day 2 was men's health. Yesterday was mental health.
Yep.
Today was all about the ladies, and tomorrow
Meeting in the
is
ladies'
asking
room
for a friend. So go ahead and binge watch. Go ahead and binge watch. Drop your questions. Continue to dialogue with us on the thread because we're happy to chime in with that conversation as well.
Yes.
So, ladies, this has been amazing.
So good.
You all have been amazing. You guys have stuck in there with us. And listen, ladies, we can do this all night. You know how.
You know we can. I told you we could.
Absolutely. But for the moment that everyone has been waiting for, right? $50 gift card. You have a choice, either a $50 Uber Eats gift card or a Visa card. And the winner of tonight's trivia question goes to
drumroll.
Shonda Favors. Shonda Favors, yes, you are the winner of a $50 gift card. Your choice.
Go, Shonda.
Right?
Girl, I'm calling you tomorrow. We're meeting for lunch. Thank you. I know, right?
Exactly.
We got so many streams going. I don't know what stream that Shonda came from, but congratulations.
I think she was on my page. She's
on your page. Okay.
She's one of my awesome ladies. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
She needs to know she got her gift card.
And listen, I know we don't want the night to end, but again, join us tomorrow for asking for a friend. And the questions that we got here that maybe we didn't get to, we will save those and answer those tomorrow. So please come back tomorrow to get those questions answered. It has been a pleasure. It's been my treat hosting. I've had the opportunity to be here every night hosting, and I've had fun.
Because you're so fabulous. Look,
I have had so much fun with this. Listen, we gotta keep this going.
Yes. No, but seriously, everybody's on here in volunteer mode doing this because we care about these topics. We care about the people, the subject matters, and shout out to Latoya Cutts, who is the reason that we're here. Latoya, thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for, bringing us into the fold with this, Albany Harlem Renaissance. You're fabulous. And I'm just grateful we got a chance to have this conversation tonight.
Absolutely. And you guys, if you want to learn more about the Legacy Wellness Center, make sure to follow them. We have the Instagram and Facebook handle down there. Please follow them, learn more about it. And
wait. Somebody's asking what time tomorrow. Okay, so y'all, believe it or not, we're on 3 different time zones. Alice is in LA, I'm in Dallas, and Dr. Somali is in Albany, Georgia. So it is 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, and 4:30 Pacific. Did I get that right, ladies?
Yes,
yep, you got it. You got it, Crystal.
All right, hey.
Crystal. Well, so again, as we wrap this up, I know we don't want to go, but this has been an amazing event. Thank you so much for everyone who's participated and hung in there with us. We can't wait to see you tomorrow for Asking for a Friend. We're going to roll over these questions for tomorrow, and make sure you binge watch all of the previous nights and those episodes. And guys, until next time, please make good. Oh, and Dr. Sinclair, again, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like sister girl, it's like you're going to just keep talking to your friend.
I know.
So
I told you you're going to put a time on me because we can be here all night, girl. We can talk about this all day and all night.
Dr. Sinclair, thank you so much for your expertise in sharing just a wealth of knowledge. Again, y'all didn't have to pay no copay. So listen, thank
Right?
you. We
And
appreciate
there you go.
it.
That's
And
You're
Crystal, thank you
welcome.
so much for sharing your story. It always,
Absolutely.
hearing from someone who's personally gone through something, actually, it just makes it so much more meaningful. And we take it to heart. So thank you for sharing that with us in sisterhood. We appreciate that. And to our production team, thank you so much. But to everyone else, please join us for tomorrow. And until then, make good choices, be kind to one another, and live well, my friends. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.